Okay, good evening, members of council, members of our management team. We have 12 attendees attending via electronic media. It is 4:10 p.m. February 20th. I would call this meeting to order. Item number 2, our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of Indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, the Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. I would ask a member of council that we approve the agenda as circulated.
Move.
Moved by Councillor Darren Roberts, second by Councillor Tom O'Brien. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. I'd like to note that we do have Councillor Maurice Hines absent, but I believe he may be en route, so hopefully he'll join us shortly. Item number 4, we have approval of a couple of minutes. Number 1 is be it resolved to approve our public meeting minutes of council dated February 6, 2025. I ask a member of council to move.
Move.
Moved by Councillor Darren Roberts, second Councillor Myra White. I was going with that one. All in favor?
Aye. As long as it's not paid.
Carried. We also had a privilege meeting, February 13, be it resolved to approve our privilege meeting minutes of council dated February 13, 2025. Ask a member of council to move.
Don't move.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, second by Councillor Laura Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I get inquiries. We see special meetings, privilege meetings we're just approving. Can we explain to people why we just do a motion like that there?
Okay, so basically when we have a privilege meeting under the Municipalities Act, we often have privilege meetings when it is information that could be sensitive. It could be a human resource issue or a special meeting of nature that sometimes there wasn't time to wait 2 weeks also for the, or 3 weeks for the next public meeting. Sometimes we have to have a special or a privilege meeting, but those once they're approved at a public meeting, the minutes of those meetings are uploaded for the general public to look at them, to see what was discussed, whether it was an HR issue or whatever, special meeting.
Well, sorry, the privilege meeting minutes, generally the decisions arising from a privilege meeting are made public to an extent, but still the privilege matters and the privileged items are maintained as privileged. But if a decision is taken, that effectively will flow. Some of that might become public at a later time, but some of it may still remain privileged. So,
yeah. So if we're dealing, say, with a HR issue, we may have to have a special privilege meeting for it. Yeah. I think when the minutes come forward at this meeting, it would be appropriate for us to say what the meeting was about. It was a HR issue. We don't have to get into the details of what it is, but it's a HR issue. Or if it's something to do with a grant and we're on a timeline or something, we can kind of give an overview of what the meeting was for when we're approving the minutes here. But at the same time, if it's something that we keep confidential, then it will fall into category as the CAO, Bill just said. So I think we need to expand on the approval of the minutes. And I think that's what you're getting at, Councillor Roberts.
Yeah, well, less inquiries we get.
Yeah, and I think too, sometimes the wording might be a bit misleading. If we say special meeting, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're dealing with an item that's way outside of what we would deal with in a public meeting. It just means that it needs to be dealt with in that moment and then brought to the public meeting. So that's what makes it special, is not like some top secret special thing that we're doing. It's just a special meeting outside of public meeting.
And sometimes, I mean, especially with our summer schedule, where we're on 3 weeks and 3 weeks. I mean, the day after our public meeting, we get 2 or 3 applications come in.
Yeah.
And okay, so now we're going to hang people up for 3 weeks before the warning of the winter.
Yeah.
The warning of the tender or whatever the case may be. So sometimes, I mean, for the convenience of the applicants,
Yeah.
we will have a special meeting so that we're not delaying your project by 3 weeks. So there's a multitude of reasons why there would be a special meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
So good clarity there, and everything we do is always governed under the Municipalities Act and the governance and code of conduct of council. But it is also recommended that you stay away from as many special meetings as possible, that you try to do as much as possible should you do it. But from time to time, we have to do special meetings. And it gives more openness, discussion, question at a public meeting. Okay. Any matters arising from those minutes? Well, we just had one. Did we vote all in favor? I believe we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
Yes.
and was unanimous. Okay, proclamations and delegations, none for today. Such a beautiful day in Stephenville, Newfoundland
It
today.
is, yeah.
There's an old saying, the back of winter is broken. I believe we're on our way to spring.
Yeah, certainly hope.
Consensus on that?
It has felt spring.
Okay, I'm going to turn it up to our Chair of Finance, 7.1, Councilor Myra White, for your accounts payable as your first item.
Thank you. Item number 1. Be it resolved to approve accounts payable for February the 20th, 2025 in the amount of $201,120.13. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 2, property tax. Be it resolved to approve property tax write-offs in the amount of $23,756.79 and adjustments in the amount of $3,589.10. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Councilor Hines, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Take off your jacket and step in. And
I can stay a while?
you can stay a while, sir. Okay, we'll wait for Councilor Maurice Hines to take a seat before we go to item number 3.
That's my plan.
All set.
Okay, item number 3 is the accounts payable, water and sewer. Be it resolved to approve water and sewer tax adjustments in the amount of $3,744.00. I so move.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second by Councilor Aylward. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 4 is a remission of tax. Be it resolved to approve remission of tax in the amount of $137.95. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Mr. Mayor, at the finance, I brought up the idea of remission tax, how people can apply for it, we indicated we're going to do something, the general meeting, public meeting.
Yeah, well, probably, I actually had it on under new business.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, we wait then.
We can wait till then.
Thank you.
Item number 5 is business tax. Be it resolved to approve business tax adjustments in the amount of $1,560.32. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 6, amended municipal budget for 2025. Be it resolved to approve the amendment 2025 municipal budget with operating and expenditures totaling $11,114,786. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder. Second, Councilor Maurice Hines. Can we get some clarification?
Just to explain, the amount has not changed. There were adjustments that were required in our dealings with municipal affairs, and those included certain accounting related activities for amounts for doubtful accounts, these sorts of things that sometimes get adjusted. And we'd adjusted them one way, they preferred it a different way, so we made those adjustments to the satisfaction of municipal affairs, and also move some matters around to make that work properly. So the budget amounts have not changed either on both the expenditure side and on the expense side. It's just these kinds of adjustments you have to make. The other thing I might add is that this will be our third year of the deficit reduction program. The $600,000 that we've been reducing the budget by each year is accounted for in this budget. So at the end of this budget year, we should be clear on the budget deficit reduction program, which I shared with councillors, of course, our report on that in December. And so that would mean, and they had some concern that the noted that the council had lowered the mill rate a bit, but we accounted for it and we managed to maneuver to give the tax break that council requested for the benefit of the people of the town, and on both the business and the housing side of town. So that worked out well, and now effectively this will satisfy municipal peers.
I guess they were probably surprised not many municipalities lower mill rates.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Well,
Okay.
if the federal, provincial federal government take our follow ours, we'd be all right.
Okay, on those validations on the budget, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 7, approved to sign memorandum of understanding. Be it resolved that the town of Stephenville enter into memorandum of understanding with the Mi'kmaq Culture Foundation in collaboration with local indigenous groups to approve the purchase of 2 additional wigwams. This will support the expansion of the cultural space on Minnesota Drive as part of a larger project led by the Mi'kmaq Cultural Foundation. The town's contribution will not exceed $30,000. Additionally, the town will continue to offer in-kind support through field maintenance and general upkeep, reflecting its ongoing commitment to truth and reconciliation. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, second Deputy Mayor Susan Falcon. Any question?
Yes. Do you have a plan, a description, what's going to be done? Yeah, like a description, what's going to look
Yes.
like and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we
I'd
get
love to see
that,
it.
and we can, it'd be nice if we put that onto the website or something.
We've seen that,
It's
but
No.
pressure wouldn't hurt.
I've done-
funding applications.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
But
that's fine then, yeah.
it'd be nice to see, you know, we got that beautiful green space that we started with our first 2 wigwams, but partnering and collaborating with another group that can do a lot of the homework, doing the ECOA applications and put in additional funding and turn that into, it will become a cultural space, but also it's going to be a great tourism attractor because so much traffic come on Minnesota Drive. We're coming from Corner Brook, heading downtown, heading to our big box stores on Prince Rupert. But it's just so nice to see that green space with a new enhanced plan, because just those 2 wigwams, it was kind of a little sparse there, you know?
Might have been a little sparse, but the questions were many.
Yeah.
I mean, people were really interested in it, and I used to have to keep going to Canvas to see if each wigwam represents something. It's children and elders. So, I mean, it generated a lot of interest. I mean, well, once the whole plan is implemented, I'm sure it's going to generate a lot more interest.
This brought up because last year, that bridge eventually is going to be removed
Yes.
with a roundabout. That has to be taken into consideration in that whole area.
Yeah, actually, we, when we did the first design plan with the engineering department, they looked at the scope in the area of the roundabout, and it will not inhibit
Okay.
the green space or the cultural center. And that's the indication we got. So I'm looking forward to the new redevelopment and be able to go there and have a coffee or some chaga. See? That's right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Item number 8, approval to accept award of contract. Stephenville Main Street Reconstruction 17-GI-23-00069. Be it resolved to accept the award of council of contract for Main Street Reconstruction, project number 17-GI-23-00069 to the lowest bidder, Marine Contractors, Inc., in the amount of $3,503,605.70, HST included. I so move.
Moved by Councilor Myra White, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councilor Norris Hines. I just want to say, these big projects, when we put them on the table and you're talking multi-million dollars, and I'm sure a lot of residents are saying, can we afford that? Well, on an MCW project, especially water and sewer, we only pay 20%. So on roughly $3 million, it's $600,000. So it's not too bad in provincial funding.
It comes down to, not can we afford to do it? We can't afford not to do it.
Yes, aging infrastructure.
So on this one, we've received the contract from the consultant. And it is now available. Hopefully after this meeting, you and the clerk can sign the contract.
Okay.
We'll send it off and then this one's done and dusted, so.
Okay, question is going to rise. When can we expect the work to start?
As soon as possible, soon to do ground breaks in the spring. I think that's their plan, and we'll be working on, the kickoff for it and the plan dates and everything else, and then working closely with the downtown business people to make sure that the plan for going forward, because we were thinking this one was going to be last year. The delays were all to do with back and forth between municipal affairs and the engineers. Really had nothing to do with the town, despite what some people were surmising in public media. This really delayed by others.
And that caused issues, but that's why we're so late doing the car show and all that sort of, because they're really expected to be done last year. So if we can get some idea of when they're going to start, so everyone can plan around it, be perfect.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, the other part, I guess, which I have brought up in the previous meeting is that the coordination prior to it, because there is going to be a lot of interruption, we know that, right? But to try to anticipate it and plan for it, especially with all the downtown, so very important.
Yeah.
So one question, and Councillor Hines, you were right in the middle of it. A recent job
Yes.
done on your street
Right.
by something that had been applied for a line before you became a councillor, but between your two council terms. But anyway, so how did that one was handled well?
The contractors and everybody involved was really good. They really worked,
And it's going to be the same contract.
And the one of the parts to it was parking. That became a real issue. Okay, because we're either if it's a number of vehicles and that's there, we had to find alternate parking, sometimes quite a distance away.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think as we move downtown, all of the alternate parking places that are there off Main Street are going to have to be utilized. And we had great cooperation with the Canadian Tire Gas Bar and with Scott McNeil and anybody that was there. But that was the other one. The only other part that was a little bit that was missing was keeping the residents informed of the next couple of steps. Okay, and that's the thing that never really happened. So getting informed of what's going to happen in the next couple of days, we were able to anticipate or not anticipate really what we needed to do because sometimes you just couldn't even get to your home. So I think that's important that that's being considered. And I think it was not the fault of anyone. I think maybe we thought that the engineer on site or supervisor would be doing it and maybe thought the town was going to be doing it. So lots of times there was a gap there of what was going to happen next.
And just out of clarity for anybody that's listening, and just our general counsel and the management team, is last year we got briefed by our director of engineering, Ira Barton, about the process. And he was consulting with Marine because we had anticipated that 2024. But the plan is to do Main Street in sections. So you're not going to be just shutting down all of Main Street. It'll be sectional from start to finish.
Yeah.
And then once it's completed, then your final grades and asphalt. And it'd be nice to get it started early because asphalt plants normally open up around the end of June. And I'm looking forward
And
to
you've
it.
already predicted it early spring, so it should happen.
Yeah. I just want to say to a little bit of history, I guess, on Main Street. My grandfather, Tom Rose, was the first mayor of Stephenville. The first asphalt was put on Main Street in 1956, trying to date myself. But they had a big street dance that night to celebrate for the first time. They weren't in mud. They had asphalt. That was now.
Well, that's a good idea.
So we're gonna celebrate not having potholes.
Yeah. We're gonna celebrate the fact that-
So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
That's the last item on the finance today.
Okay, so
We can celebrate.
That's right, the waves being done.
Yeah.
That was part of it.
Yeah.
As a little boy, I was fascinated. We lived on Main Street and I was watching the construction workers and the pavers and all the other stuff. So it's great.
Wow.
you.
Yes, I was 8 years old.
Wow. Yeah, it was a big day.
Yes, it was. And a lot of the paving that would be done after hours because they were borrowing equipment from the base.
A lot of support.
So you're around before we got incorporated.
Yes. Hey, no back taxes. Okay,
Race
no.
was around before asphalt.
Yeah, I remember the invention of the wheel.
No senior jokes.
Just a little bit of a comparison and maybe some trivia at some point in the future. Being the waves in Main Street became a real safety issue. People stumbling across them. So we decided last year that we were just going to grade it and pave it to get rid of the waves. For of a better term. So we can all see what was done. And that came at a cost of 62,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you compare that to the 3.5 million, this is something to.
Yeah.
But
As Ringo Starr says, it don't come easy.
don't. With 8820, it's easier than 100.
Well, it is, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it to our Chair of Planning, Councilor Laura Elward, for 7.2.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one item, it seems, there today. Approve to adopt Development Regulation Amendment number 19, 2025, be it resolved to approve to adopt the Town of Stephenville Development Regulation Amendment number 19, 2025, cluster development. I so moved.
Moved by Councilor Laura Elward, second.
Second.
Second, Councilor Myra White. Question. Can we get some clarity maybe from?
Yeah, Mr.
Mr. Sims.
Mr. Matt, if you would like.
Yeah, so basically with the cluster development, it's simple. You be able to put multiple dwellings on the same parcel. It's designed to help increase density and help the community needs for affordable housing, seniors complex, and those type of things. And allows developers a little bit more flexibility on the land that they do have or they may want to purchase for future development. It's important to note that there is minimums in cluster development. So it's not just a big free for all, and each one is a discretionary. So every single time a plan comes in, it gets reviewed by management and it gets sent to council for final approval. It just allows everyone to have some eyes on it because we also need to take into account snow clearing, emergency services like fire department services. You got to be able to fit between the buildings, those type of things, parking, which is all important. So it's very important to note that it's not just a straight free for all for development, that there is minimum set into it. And we can also increase the minimums as management of the council, just to make sure that we're covering, like I said, snow clearing, emergency services, those type of things. But it also allows give some developers a little bit more flexibility, and we can get some more of those, nicer condos, affordable housing, and senior complexes as well.
Sounds good.
So I wanted to also state that the town had a number of inquiries from investors and landowners and potential developers from the community that are interested in proceeding with this type of development, and our previous development regulations would not allow it. So this is a means by which we can put in place a regulation so that these proposals can be brought forward for consideration by council. The one key thing that was very clear to those who attended the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and other discussions we've had with property development companies is that increasing the density is a significant cost-saving measure for the community, and also hopefully to a point of making places more affordable, because you're getting more bang for the buck, so to speak, on the town's infrastructure. So that's the concept, and this will allow and hopefully let us work on some of these affordable housing developments, which we've received several inquiries and proposals from parties wanting to proceed with, and others who just want to do regular apartment type developments. So we're looking forward to those proposals now being able to be received and gone forward with and brought to council for consideration.
I just want to say, to going back a year ago, Mr. Mike Ratter in our Economic Development Office played a critical role with Uplands when they designed our expansion plan. But in doing that, they did an overview of our regulations. And the single thing that they noted is we were too restrictive. And that's why over time, the expansion plan with Uplands, and Uplands is the same company that did the plan for beautifying Main Street. So one of the things we really got to have maybe a special planning meeting or a special meeting to have our management team is look at what was recommended by Uplands for Main Street, because we couldn't do anything until we had the infrastructure done with this municipal capital works project. So it's now to take a look at Stephenville and how can we enhance Stephenville's Main Street to be more green, more accessible, and all the components that Uplands has. So there's been a lot of good work in the past on this to getting us to this point, but it takes time, so maybe that's something with management that we could plan a special meeting to just go over that plan one more time, take a look at it, and see what we can incorporate going downstream. I'm good?
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Anything late on planning?
No, not unless.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, first of all, apologize for being a tad late. We are working on a project at the Legion. We're all familiar with the memorial wall that's there. Laura Jesso donated a significant amount of money to have it redone, and it's in memory of her son, Corporal Andrew Jesso.
Nice.
And so we are redoing the wall, redoing all the pictures and frames, and we're also having it all digitized as well. And so that's part of the project. And I guess I got a bit carried away there this evening, but it's moving ahead. It's probably going to be another week or 2 weeks before it's completed. And when it is, we'd like to probably have a little bit of an open house.
Yeah, be nice.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have no bylaws or regulations or policies coming forward today. Item number 9, unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business out there? I hear none. How about new business?
New business, I have a couple of points to offer up. One is the proposal for the roundabout on Minnesota, or over the bridge that goes over Carolina, is we've received a draft RFP for that from the province, and we are in an agreement on that one. I think it's 75-25. It's a different agreement from the federal government. It's a little bit more money for the town, but they have been in for review now by our staff. So That is, and they've got dedicated a specific engineer to it. Who's new to the West Coast, but is very familiar with the West Coast, new to operating from this area. Additionally, I think in this public meeting, and I know councillors will certainly all express their concerns at the time, and also how pleased they were with the work of our Public Works Department in a recent water outage on Saturday evening. And the good news is we just got back from boil water advisory. It's published, but the boil water advisory has been lifted for all places located in that area. So these boil water advisories, and we wanted to make sure that people understand they are precautionary, but they do recommend when you do have a water outage of this nature that there's the suggestion is a 2-minute or a 3-minute boil of your water before consuming. And we do have very clean water, but we should abide by these regulations. I know a lot of people know the water is very clean anyway, and that sort of thing. But after you have a water interruption, you get that blast of brown water, and people are very concerned about that. So we just wanted to let them know that this one is complete as of today. There may be others. There was another one immediately following that we had to go into as a planned process. A little bit different, but still the same issue. The boil water advisory for that is still out, and that one should be finished by, we hope tomorrow, but maybe Monday or Tuesday before we get the results.
Yeah, well, when you think we're redoing Main Street in 2025, it was probably, the water and sewer probably went there in the 1952, 56 era. So that's 70 plus years. But the Hanson Highway, a 12-inch water line that was repaired, was put in by Avalon Construction in 1973.
Wow.
So that's almost 50 years. So the great thing with our engineering department and the scans that we've done on our water and sewer, it helps us identify, prioritize. Sometimes it's not always the oldest system that got to be replaced, because a newer system, because of soil topography or whatever, may have more leaks, more issues. So, but we got a good engineering department, lots of skill sets, and we're getting it better all the time. Okay. Yeah. I got just a couple of quick little things here. Councilor Darren Roberts brought it up at our finance meeting and brought it up earlier when we did the remission of tax. And it's something that we probably don't promote as much as we should, and maybe find measures to actually get it communicated primarily to our people that have fixed incomes that's at a certain level. Because when we pass our budget, we have numerics in it that if you're at a certain income level, you can receive a remission of tax on your property tax. But I would say, I'm just using some, probably only 50% of the people take advantage of it, you know?
And just to, Mayor, that for example, one of the items in there is a remission of $179. That was a 10% remission of a person whose tax was $1,790. So really, it varies by income. So it's published on our website, the amount that a person may seek based on their income in the prior year. And there's an application process. Our staff assist people with this when they come in and ask what they have to provide. And but they can look at the levels that are written right into our tax published every year. So, and that's how you go about it. And we aim to assist any homeowner who feels they might be entitled to that, and we can assist where we can with it. And then we bring it forward for potential approval.
I used to, when I did business, I used to do a lot of returns for seniors and low income, and I used to post that in my office.
Good.
So they would take advantage of it.
Yeah. So
But
quick question, I know that you're kind of semi-retired. Is it posted in the office still today, sir?
No.
Okay, let's see if
I
we
do
can.
not own business anymore.
Okay. Okay, so that's a great overview there. Anything that we can do to help seniors or anybody in our town, You don't always need to look at seniors, but anybody that knows children from the cradle to the grave. I just wanted to, I don't know, Candace, if you could maybe just give a little overview. Last June, we had a energy symposium in Stephenville, where we brought in the Atlas Salts and the World Energies and companies, and it really went over well. And I got to say, our management team, phenomenal job. We're so proud of that day. What we pulled off in a matter of a few weeks. Normally, those things you get a year to plan. But there's talks that we may be hosting or holding a housing symposium. I'm wondering, can you give us an overview on anything, timelines, how close are we?
So we've been working with some groups now. We're looking at having what we're calling it's a housing visioning session. And we're going to bring together our community stakeholders, so like the projects that we're anticipating here in the region. Also our local developers, our nonprofit organizations, our business community, even our health professionals, our college institutes. So we're going to bring a group council, a bunch of people together to discuss what the town's priorities for development will be, what areas that we're looking to develop, what the priorities and objectives of the community are, and then how the town should focus, where we need to focus our attention. So we're really this is going to be a consultation, and out of that will become, the plans for our future development with everybody's input. So we're looking forward to that. We have April the 16th as the date of our tentative date. And we're now preparing, Mary Lee and myself, our manager of communications, are now working towards an official invite, marketing the event, and looking for drumming up some support and raising some awareness on it.
Sounds great.
Keep an eye.
Sounds good, yeah.
The other thing I want to say is, Go Canada Go tonight, 9:30, taking on the Americans, United States of America. I have total confidence in our team that we're going to win tonight, but stand on guard, we will tonight, and we will keep our defense strong, and we will go on the offense, and we'll put some pucks into the net. That's the plan. So,
And all this is good. There's no question about it. Wendy's, I hope it's done respectfully.
yes,
I mean,
and I'm praying for that
The
tonight.
booing in that, okay, boys, you
Yeah.
got your boos out, let's.
Yeah.
If there's big controversy over if there's going to be tariffs or not tariffs, we all got an understanding that it's going to be a negative to all of us, not only in Canada, but in the US, if the tariffs go in place. But when you take it out of the house and off the Parliament Hill and stuff, move to the light surface, I mean, respect, I think, they needs to come forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm praying for that too tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the three players from Nova Scotia, they're excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Crosby's, I thought they said he's 37.
Yeah, he's the oldest player
Yeah.
in the tournament.
Wow.
I'm just wondering too, Matt, if you could, I know you really have a background with the curling. Can I get a little update on Sarah and Ryan Lambs? Where are you at today? What's the plan?
Sarah and I were playing in the Scotties this week. They had some excellent competitive games. They had a really close game against Kerry Anderson's team, who's represented Canada numerous times. So they've done quite well. But Ryan and them are waiting to get ready to go to the Briar, which is, I think, sometime in March. But team for Newfoundland had a really good tournament, really competitive, had a really close game. So it's good to see. Yeah.
That's good.
And not just Sarah, it's interesting to note because Aaron lived here and curled here. So 2 of the 4 curlers on the women's team come out of the Caribou Curling Club in many ways, right? So.
And Aaron was heavily involved in our junior curling program as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad to see her leave, definitely.
Upgrades.
Yeah, so maybe, Bill, if you
I
could
can just update, well, one of the pieces of equipment is not yet installed. The other one will arrive in April. And then right away, it'll be all, installed and properly set up. At that time, well, actually leading up to it, I spoke to our legal counsel today about the agreement for the town to take over the facility and then, of course, have it operated by Caribou Curling Club, that sort of thing. So we're moving along in the various steps that have to happen. There was a lien that we had to get extinguished. That's done. So now it's a matter of working the various parts and then eventually sign off on the agreement and then an operating agreement between the town and the curling club, similar to what we have in place for other organizations that we operate with. So, similar to the way we've done it for the swimming pool and also for the other. And the Caribou Curling Club itself will very well be the one that operates it under an agreement.
One of the things that I was trying to champion and make happen in Matt, I'm not sure if it ever happened, but now that we have ownership and more collaborative partnership, is that our softball tournaments, all the softball activity there, that here was the Caribou Curling Club most of the time shut down, but to avail of the washrooms, we got to ensure that as the spring comes and our fields open up, that there's a way to work that we can manage having those washrooms for our great athletes that are there and their families and friends.
When I was involved with minor baseball or county club, curling club was essential into it, but when they weren't available, the Arts Culture Center stepped up, the YMC stepped off. So there's places around there, just get us talk to them and coordinate it.
Yeah, so the big difference. The big difference here is in the past, the curling clubs actually owned the building, controlled the building, managed the building, the whole 9 yards. There's no secret. I mean, the curling was having a difficult time surviving. Okay, but the building sector go up once a year. So this agreement sees the town taking ownership of the building. In taking ownership of the building, the maintenance on the building, insurance on the building, all that stuff comes to the town. From an operational standpoint, in the fall of the year, whenever the curling people would start to gear the building up for curling that season, they would get the keys. They would have control of the building during the curling season once a year. Once their curling season would normally be over, and they de-ice icers and they basically do the regular thing that they would do every year after a curling season, then the key would basically come back to the town. Then they basically, Marissa would have the key to the building. Marissa being our recreation and wellness person type thing. So then it makes the building available for the town activities. Batteries available to the teams, the whole 9 yards.
In addition to that, though, we may be under because a lot of the funds that were raised by the curling club were generated through weddings and other things, and the town doesn't want to be in that business. We would, of course, offer the curling club the opportunity to utilize it even in the off season for the fundraising purposes, which has been one of their biggest fundraising areas.
Yeah.
And well, that's a part of the agreement.
Yeah.
That'll be imposed.
So you mean, it gives us a whole lot, a wider span to utilize the building even more, which certainly benefits the curling club and certainly will benefit other organizations down, whether it be softball or whatever the case may be. And yes, somebody's going to make a few bucks from hosting a wedding or whatever the case may be. So it's a good deal overall, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's nice to see it open all year round, really, right?
Exactly.
That's the way to do
It
it.
becomes a year-round building.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just a final note too, we do have an expression of interest out there for board members to sit on the stadium commission. And the deadline is
February 28th.
February 28th. So if anybody's interested in being involved with the great stadium that we have, we got a great team of workers, good management team up there, but we need some people to step forward. New ideas, new blood, and I think really it's worthy. And I've talked to Councillor Darren Roberts, you know, it's one of only 2 Olympic-sized skating facilities in all of Canada. We haven't marketed that. It's like, we don't market that we got the Appalachian Trail going through Stephenville.
So also maybe Mayor Lee, there's a new email set up for people who have that interest.
Yeah.
I think it's volunteer or volunteers,
Volunteer.
one singular, volunteer@stephenville.ca for those who want to submit interest related to serving on the Stephenville Gardens Corporation Dome Arena.
And the details are on our Facebook page as well as on our website. So
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Before I call for adjournment, anything else from any councilors? Okay, well, moved by Councillor Tom O'Brien, second by Councillor White. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. It is 4:56 p.m.
But Tom, you don't, so we be here all.
So don't run yet. I got one point
Yeah.
to make out,